Okay, so I wanted to start tonight with a Passover theme reflection. So many of us might not be Jewish, but many of us might be Christian. We come from Christianity comes from the Jewish tradition, and we are in Passover. So I have a reflection, just considering what a Jewish community might use to start a Seder. And so I will start this reflection. We look to the east, and the east wind begins to part the sea. We look to the west, and the well of life opens its mouth to sing. We look to the north, and the pillar of cloud waters the growing seeds. We look to the south, and the pillar of fire warms the earth. All around us are promises of redemption. We come together from our separate lives, each of us bringing our concerns, our preoccupations, our hopes, and our dreams. We are not yet fully present. The traffic, the last-minute cooking, the final details still cling to us. Our bodies hold the rush of the past few hours. It is now time to let go of these pressures and really arrive at this session. We do this by meditating together. Make yourself comfortable. You can close your eyes if you wish. Now take a few deep breaths, and as you exhale, let go of the tensions in your body. You'll begin to quiet within. When you're ready, repeat silently to yourself, Hineni, or Here I am. Hineni is used in the Torah to signify being present in body, mind, and spirit. It means settling into where we are and simply being here. If you prefer, you can visualize the word. Let the word become filled with your breath. Merge with it so that you experience being fully present. Everything drops away, and you're left in the unbounded state of here-ness. When a thought arises, just notice it and return to Hineni again and again. Let yourself be held in the state of Hineni. Meditate in this way for several moments, long enough to become more present. Slowly open your eyes and look around the room at the people in your circle. Now we begin our journey together.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So everybody should be in a really good space right now and relaxed and, being present, because this is the end of the day. Myself included, ever since my eyes opened, was running around. And so now's the time for us to come together in fellowship and do some learning. So we've got a really great show for you tonight. And this is in part thank you to my chef partner, Lenise, who helped in this overall mindful eating food network version of learning and demonstrating and doing interactive mindful eating exercises and food. So we're going to get right into it and watch 3 and possibly 4 videos. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to use the chat to ask questions in the videos. We're not going to really do a long pause, quite frankly, because we don't have time. And if you just, into the chat about anything around the recipes or yay, good, can't do it, whatever the case is, we're gonna use the chat conversation, and while we're watching, we'll be so is that great, good for everyone? Is everyone okay with that? Oh, Sarah, she's on. Bob, what's the call?
Let's ask Sarah.
Sarah, are we good for breakout sessions? Because we were gonna go in video because we didn't see you.
Oh, okay. So we can, I feel like given the time, we should probably just go to the video. So, and then like we'll try to end early enough that we can have small groups at the end. How about that?
Okay, that's the call. So let's begin the show. We're gonna start out with a really, all these recipes are, again, the emphasis is affordability, understanding the practicality and the stigmas associated with eating healthy. And we're going to talk about things that are highly nutritious that we can kind of hoodwink our families into understanding just to how good it tastes, and how easy it is bringing it to the family table. So let's get the show on the road. And let me share my screen. Let's see if this works. Okay. Let's go. Chef Alex Askew, and welcome back to Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community. Another series of healthy food that makes you feel good, and it tastes good too. Let's talk a little bit about greens and grains. Did your mama ever say, your grandma ever say, eat your greens? You ever know why? Because they're good for you, that's why. And deep green leafy greens have some of the best nutrition pound for pound. They're rich in fiber, they have nutrients. Back in the old days, it was the collard greens and you drink the pot liquor. If you know what I'm talking about, you know how good greens are. And, they can be good on its own, or you can actually have a little bit of meat or fish on the side. But make sure you get your greens and grains. And I've got a recipe that's so simple that everyone's going to enjoy it at home, I guarantee you. And the whole family can actually participate. Let's go over our ingredients. First, I've got some really nice chopped up kale. Kale is you can actually make kale chips out of these if you just put them on a baking tray, and it's actually just as good as potato chips, I guarantee you. But what I'm going to be doing is mixing this with the grain barley. Now, barley is one of the top grains. It's extremely affordable. We're talking about $1.99 a pound, and it's easy to cook. All you need is a little bit of vegetable broth. You can use chicken broth if that's what you want to do, and you cook it and steam it almost like a rice. It's way more nutritious than rice is, and it has a lot more nutrient dense vitamins and minerals. So you want to make sure you get your vitamins and minerals. Now, when I'm talking about deep green, leafy greens, you cannot leave out the collard greens. Kale, turnip greens, collard greens, all these deep green leafy vegetables are extremely, extremely healthy for you, and you can swap them out. So what I'm going to be doing is a recipe called crispy kale and sweet barley, caramelized barley, and I'm going to show you how simple this recipe is. First, you have your kale here, and again, you want to make sure it's washed and clean. It feels almost crunchy to the touch. And what we're going to do is we're going to add just a little bit of olive oil. Again, you do need that little bit of oil. And you can just drizzle it like you're drizzling it over a salad. And it's as simple as that. And then you can add your seasoning. Again, salt and pepper. Make sure that you watch your salt, but a little bit of salt is okay. We're going to use a seasoned salt. You can use salt and pepper, and we're just going to sprinkle that on the kale. And we're going to just lightly toss it. So all of that seasoning gets on every leaf here. We're going to give it some love, right? And so now we have our kale toasted. We want to get a sheet pan or a baking sheet, right? And we want to also just lightly spray it to make sure it doesn't stick. And again, this is the secret ingredient to doing the best type of cooking is just a little bit of vegetable spray. It's about $2 a can. They have canola oil. This is actually canola oil. They have olive oil. They even have butter flavors, and it's the best for fat-free cooking. So we have our kale here, and we're just going to make sure that we evenly space it on the sheet pan. And again, give it some love, give it some attention. And once we, and the trick is here is to make sure that it's a single layer. That way, each bit of the leaf can actually get roasted, and that's a big secret. So we have our oven here on 325, and this goes in the oven at 325 for 10 to 15 minutes. So now let's start on our barley. Okay, again, barley is considered an ancient grain, and what we're going to do is we're going to add some flavors to it to actually, one, caramelize, and we're going to be using some onion to do that. And then I'm going to teach you how to make almost like a sweet and sour, and that's really kind of a cool situation. And you know, just a little bit of garlic powder. That's all. These are the basic ingredients that you need. So stay tuned while we take this to the oven, and I'm going to show you how to crisp up this barley. You hear that sizzle? That's how you know you have a hot pan. And we're going to give it some love here. And you can see how that's actually starting to brown around the edges. That's exactly what you want to see. If you want to actually get some more sizzle, you can add a little tad of oil, and you'll hear that noise kick up. That means that's really caramelizing and getting all of that natural sugar. It's all in the wrist. And then we add our barley. And again, a half a cup of barley will make a cup and a half. So that means a pound of barley can almost make a pound of dry barley can almost make 3 pounds of cooked barley. That's what makes this affordable. And so now that's starting to come together. And that's that noise you want to hear. That means that it's actually caramelizing. We want to check our kale real quick. And that's coming together really nicely. And now, how do you take something everyone loves, sweet and sour, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to create our own sweet and sour. How we're going to do that is by adding some sweet and sour. So here are some perfect sweets and sours, and they're all natural: orange juice and apple cider vinegar. You can use pineapple juice and white vinegar. It all complements each other as a sweet and a sour base. And what's going to happen now, as this pan heats up, I'm going to first hit it with the orange juice. And then I'm going to hit it with the cider vinegar. And you'll smell those aromas. You'll smell those aromas, and that that's what you want. You want it to smell like a sweet and sour as well. So while this is coming down and we're almost done, let's take our kale up and start to plate it. And again, look at how this is. This actually is a more condensed flavor, and also you got some roast, and you hear that? That's that kale chip type of thing, and that's really what you want. That's going to make kale fun to eat, and whoever said kale would be fun to eat. So we have our kale. What we want to do is we want to just kind of place it in the middle, just like that. That's like restaurant grade there. And then let's grab our sweet and sour barley. And look at that. Look at just the steam is still coming off. That sweet and sour. That is going to make quite a dish here. And you can be as generous as you want. Again, you've got sweet, sour, crispy, all those flavors, all those textures. Tell me this doesn't look like a fun dish here. And you want to just mound it. And if you want to be really fancy, and I like to be fancy, we're just going to add a little bit of garnish to this. And again, you know, a little bit of parsley. We want to make things look pretty. And it goes, and actually you can eat parsley. Parsley is a really great herb. So if you want to chop it up and put it directly on it, that's fine as well. This is how you would serve it in a restaurant. And ladies and gentlemen, our audience, this is our crispy kale, sweet and sour barley. You're going to enjoy it, and maybe we'll even have someone come up and taste it. Anybody in our audience? Oh, wow, the same person. This is incredible. Let me grab a fork, and then we can try this out together. This is how you keep things convenient. You just have a fork and knife, and let's taste this together so I can get your reaction.
More digital? Talk to AmericanEagle.com, building your digital mindset. Call AmericanEagle.com at 877-WEB-NOW-1 or visit AmericanEagle.com.
How is that? You got crunchy, a little bit of salt, but you got the sweet and sour. Would you believe this is healthy?
I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of something.
How easy is this to do? You can do it at home. Again, very affordable. Crispy kale. Let me finish chewing that. Crispy kale, sweet and sour barley. Everyone in the whole family. And if you really want to go an extra mile, put a piece of grilled chicken or fish. And now you've got a completely healthy and whole and nutritious and well-rounded and well-balanced and flavorful, tastes good, affordable. We'll be back with another recipe for mindful eating for the beloved community. And believe me, it's not as hard as you think to feel good and make things taste good. Take care for now. This is good. Okay. Let's just stop that. Oops. I'm sorry there. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're going to get into the next one. Thank you so much for the questions. And I'll continue the chat. I want to get to the next video in the interest of time. This is again, there's this question of eating more fruits and vegetables and plant-based, and these are recipes that can be fun. Again, having a piece of grilled chicken or fish is your preference, but a lot of these recipes, the kale and the one that we're going to watch is hearty enough that you really don't need it. So we'll get right to it, and I hope you enjoy it. So. Welcome back. I'm Chef Alex Askew, President of PCA Global, and I'm welcoming you back to another edition of Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community, live here at St. Helena's Church in Parkchester. We're so happy and we are so proud that we're aligning together to make vibrant, productive, and healthy whole communities. Let's get down to this next recipe that is good for the whole family. When I say it's good for the whole family, it can feed the whole family. Here's the question. Here's the conundrum. What do you do with vegetables that are on its way out the door? I mean, are there any alternatives? What else can you do to kind of stretch it to the farthest? And I gotta be honest with you, the go-to is lasagna. And I'm gonna teach you how to make the healthiest version of lasagna that can possibly be. But let's talk about these vegetables. I mean, here I bought some vegetables from the store, and you can see that they're bruised, they're blemished. They're not rotting or soft or anything, but you can tell within the next couple of days, they're not going to be around. So what do? Well, a simple thing to do is, again, a healthy, hearty lasagna. And let me tell you what makes it the healthy part. I want to point to having whole grain lasagna sheets. Whole grain lasagna sheets actually are the same price as the white sheets. What you want to remember is that whole grains are more healthier. And same price as the white one, nutritionally, twice as better for you. And they look the same, except they're whole wheat. And let me show you how simple this is. And again, going back to the vegetables, it can be any vegetables. I mean, if you have a food processor, you can chop them down more finer than this. But the trick, and I'm going to give you a culinary secret, you do not have to cook the lasagna sheets. Because what happens is that all the moisture from the vegetables and the sauce actually cook the lasagna sheets at the same time. You have to bake it 15 more minutes, but you'll see, you won't be able to tell the difference. Now let's talk about this sauce. This is as simple as a recipe gets. We're using 1 part good marinara sauce. And again, I would find the best quality on sale. This big jar was $2.49. And there's approximately 4 quarts, but we're gonna just put like 3 cups or 3/4 of that in there. And then I wanna talk to you about how you make something creamy and low fat. And one of the best things, and this is the ancient Chinese secret, that's not really Chinese, but it's an ancient secret, is using buttermilk. Buttermilk is actually what's left over after heavy cream is whipped to make butter. So there's really the lowest fat possible, but you still get the flavor of butter, and you still get the flavor and that creaminess and a little bit of tang that goes well with the acid. So we're just going to take 3/4 of this, and again, it's half and half. If you want a little bit more on the creamy side, you can add more. If you don't, you add less. That's what you would call in the culinary world a pink sauce, which has milk, or it has cream, and it has tomato. So that's, now you know the secret of what a pink sauce is. And all you have to do is really give this a good stir. And just a couple of minutes, and you'll see that it all comes together, and it's that pink sauce that I'm talking about. We also did some seasoned turkey, and we cooked it with a little bit of onion, ground turkey, and we added a little bit of seasoning to it, and that's going to be our meat. As you know, ground turkey is far better than ground beef. So if you're going to go meat, go lean turkey. And again, our vegetables are going to be cooked right in there, and then we have some low-fat mozzarella. So let me show you how simple this is to assemble. Again, let's use our friend the spray, because that helps things from sticking, and you want to make sure you get the edges and the bottom. That's going to help not only it bake well, but ways to do that. So you have your lasagna sheets, and you have your sauce, and it's just like building a puzzle. That's how easy it gets. You put a little sauce in the bottom, just like that. Yeah, shake it around a little bit, make sure it covers the bottom. You know, that's gonna be your sauce that also helps your lasagna lift out. And then it's, again, building this with the little vegetables on the bottom, a little turkey, just a little bit, because we're actually gonna have layers in between that. So that's gonna be on the bottom. And then you take your dry sheets and you just put them next together like you would do any lasagna, except this is easier because they're not cooked. So you don't have to worry, and they'll have more flavor because the actual liquid is coming from the vegetables again. Again, some more sauce, just like that. You don't have to worry about it being soggy because those lasagna sheets will take care of soaking up all that goodness and liquid. You don't want to forget your low-fat cheese, and this is really a good place to do it. Low-fat mozzarella is a go-to. If you use regular mozzarella, that's fine. But again, the low-fat mozzarella is something that you really won't even notice and miss the fact. Now you can go heavier on your vegetables, just like this. Make sure that they're even, so you get even slices. And again, with the turkey, that again is already seasoned, and seasoned goodness, that is, will go right in and another layer. And look, we're almost there. This is something actually the whole family can participate. And if you're doing a family outing or having a large family gathering, you'll see how much we get out of one pan. And again, the pasta was $2.70 for one box. The buttermilk was $2.50. The ground turkey was probably the most expensive thing, but I think that was $5.49. And again, if you have leftover turkey, you can always use it for turkey burgers. I mean, turkey is a very versatile meat, and who doesn't like turkey burgers, right? So again, another layer of these vegetables, and again, be generous because these vegetables will cook down. They'll be half the size, if not even more, after it cooks down. And again, that's because most of these vegetables have a lot of liquid. So you're actually cooking the lasagna in a natural vegetable stock. Is that crazy? So here we go, the last layer here. And I like my lasagnas on the high side so you get that cake, you know, that lasagna cake situation going. And this time we'll sauce it. And look at that. We actually have, did that not work out or what? And then another generous portion of cheese. Now, let's talk about the cooking process. Remember, we have to bake this about 20 minutes longer. And what you want to do is you want to cover it with aluminum foil. And again, don't be afraid to spray the aluminum foil so nothing sticks, right? That's the whole idea. That will take the fun out of the lasagna. And you cover it. And what you want to do is really cover it tight so you can get that steaming action that's actually cooking the lasagna. And don't be afraid to double foil it so you get that really good edge on it. And again, that steam does not escape. So you want to cook this at a 325 degree oven for at least 1 hour. You don't have to worry about it burning, but you might want to check into it 40 minutes into the cooking process just to see how it's doing. So let's get this in the oven. I forgot to mention, you want to save a little bit of tomato sauce just so you have a little extra sauce on the side. It's not necessary, but I'm a sauce type of guy. So now let's create our lasagna. And I think you'll be impressed. We have a lasagna that's already been finishing in the oven. And there's two ways that you can do it. And I'll show you the two ways. One is you just cut it and leave it in the pan. And the other is you cut it out and put it on a pan. And the beauty about this extra sauce that we have here on the side is you have this cheese that's caramelized and it's crunchy. It's got a lot of flavor in it because even though cheese doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, it does have a little bit of sugar that helps get that crust. And some people like it. Some people actually like to just peel the crust and eat that separately. And this sauce here, and doesn't that look good? I mean, who would think that's healthy for you, right? I'm going to use these, you know what? I'm going to use one from this side and one from this side that has that extra crust on the cheese. And then, just wipe our plate here. We want to add a little bit of this hot marinara on top. Just like that. And that will actually be good for the whole piece, and you'll get some crunch, you'll still get some sauce in there. And you know me, I like things to look pretty. So we're just gonna add a little bit of parsley on top here. Oops. And there you go. You have a whole wheat lasagna with leftover vegetables. You don't have to tell anyone it's leftover vegetables. You can just say it's a veggie ground turkey lasagna, and you will know that you're doing justice to them by feeding them a nutritious. And look how hearty all these slices. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 out of one pan. So there you go, one pan, two, then you have enough for 24 people. This is family style in entirety. And this is something that the whole family will enjoy. And I don't even think you need anything else. So thank you for tuning in for this episode of Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community. And here we go, whole wheat lasagna with vegetables and ground turkey. I'm sure this is gonna be awesome. And I'm gonna try a little bit, just so I know what I'm talking about. And do I have anybody from the studio audience that might wanna try with me? Do I see Michelle back there? Oh, wow, that looks good.
It smells so good too.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Oops. That's a real deal Holyfield right there. How can something taste so good and be good for you? Stay tuned for another episode of Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community. I got to get to this lasagna right now because it's making me hungry. See you next time. Take care for now. Bye-bye. Okay, hope everyone enjoyed that one. Oops, Okay. We're gonna get to the next one here, and this one is, let me see. Oops. This is going to be on the dessert side, and then I have to find one more if we have time. So let me get to this one. Hi, my name is Chef Alex Askew, and welcome back to another edition of Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community, live from St. Alita's Church in Parkchester, Bronx. What an important community, and we are committed to doing the work here at BCA Global Interfaith Public Health Network, and really build a consortium around healthy community building and bring a vibrant capacity to really one of the lowest health index counties and boroughs in New York State. Let's all get together and fix that. We're going to talk to you today around healthy sweets, and here is the person to talk to about this, Chef Winese, who's also a pastry chef. Hi, Chef. How you doing?
I'm great.
You're
How
still,
are you?
yeah, well, we're still hanging in there.
Hanging in there, tough.
Yeah.
Doing it.
So tell our audience, what's the take? I mean, are there such things as mindful eating, beloved community, essence, healthy desserts? I mean, is that possible?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, what's your take on it?
I'm going to show you guys how to do a quick dessert. And not only is it a dessert, it can also be an energy snack.
Okay, all right.
So when you are tired, or when you want to go to the gym and you need that little pick-me-up,
Mhm.
you can grab a couple of these and you can go and boom, that energy is going to shoot straight up.
Like a long day of shooting,
Like
cooking
a
section?
long day of shooting in 30 seconds. And the best part about this is all done in one bowl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you don't have to bake it.
No baking.
No baking.
Oh, this is something my 5-year-old can do.
Yes. You get the kids involved in this, they love it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the main ingredients of this is peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Children love peanut butter.
Children love peanut butter.
Children love chocolate.
People, everybody
So-
loves chocolate, right?
Everybody loves chocolate. So let's get started.
Okay.
So we're gonna start out with, oh, sorry about that. One thing that's really good, oats. This is oatmeal.
Wow.
So we're gonna add all of these things that are great for you. They give you antioxidants, they help your immune system. We're gonna do this all in here to make these kids and your adults happy.
Okay.
So we're gonna start out with 1 cup of rolled oats. It doesn't matter what kind of old fashioned, the quick ones, doesn't matter, whatever your preference is. You dump that in the bowl.
Okay. Now, oatmeal is also good for low in cholesterol for those that have problems with cholesterol. So that's a very, very good. And it's also low glycemic for people that suffer from diabetes as well. So that's a great thing to know.
Yes. Half a cup of sweet chocolate.
Okay.
Now remember, you can also use dark chocolate, which is really good for you.
Okay.
So you can actually use some dark chocolate if you want. Now, you're gonna sneak in some flaxseed,
Okay.
which is definitely get everything moving.
Okay.
Right way.
Oh, everything moving, keeping it moving,
I'm
huh?
gonna keep it moving down south.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
And then we're gonna start out,
Well, hold on. You're gonna sneak flaxseed into dessert.
I'm gonna sneak flaxseed into dessert.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go
And
for it.
you're not gonna be able to taste it.
Okay. Let's go for it.
Okay? Now we're gonna do half a cup of peanut butter. Get that in there, and we're gonna make sure we pack that cup good. Half a cup of peanut butter. Remember, 1 bowl, guys. 1 bowl.
All in one bowl.
All in 1 bowl.
And this is something good for the whole family to do.
Good for the whole family to do. The kids can help. The teens can help. And I'm preventing those teens helping. And then we're gonna do 1/3 cup of honey.
Okay. And honey's a great sweetener, and it's also good
Much, much better than
white sugar.
this. White sugar has no nutritional value.
Okay. And honey, we know, is something that people use from everything from, inside gut health to actually, I've heard that they even put on wounds. So it must be.
Now, I'm gonna act like I'm at home, because I took the top off of that.
We're keeping it real here.
We gotta keep it real.
All right. So we got the honey.
We got
And these are all affordable ingredients. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you have an Aldi's near you, you can get a lot of this at Aldi's, or you can just wait till things go on sale. Stock
Okay.
up. They're not gonna go bad, but they're not gonna serve
recipes accessible so everyone can actually print them out, start your own book.
Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this is how it looks. It looks like a loose pasta.
Yeah, and let me get this straight. You got oatmeal,
Yeah,
you got flaxseed meal,
yes,
you got peanut butter, you got chocolate chips, and you got honey.
yes.
That's gotta taste good. So what's next?
Well, now we're gonna spray, mist it very lightly,
Mhm.
so she can, a little
Okay.
parchment paper on
And
it.
that keeps it from
That
sticking.
keeps it from sticking. I like to use a small ice cream scoop, because
Okay.
that gives uniform sizes.
Okay.
So for that part, I'm gonna put my gloves on, because I'm gonna then roll it in my hands and make it a nice firm ball.
And that keeps your hands from getting dirty.
Keeps your hands from getting
Sure.
sticky, especially from the honey and the peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And we don't live in a world where we lick our hands and, no, we don't.
No.
Okay, we don't do that.
you don't.
Gloves are the way to go. Everyone should have
So,
gloves at home.
Did you see it's a nice?
Oh, wow, okay, came out.
And then you just roll it to get a little bit uniform, and you just place it on the tray.
That's it.
That's it.
And how long do you need to let this refrigerate?
You need to let it refrigerate for at least an hour just to firm it up.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, some people have told me that they can't wait that long. So they just
Oh.
pop them in their mouth.
Just like that. So it's
Just
like
like
a
that.
popper. A
It's just
healthy,
a healthy popper.
a healthy popper.
Yes.
Well, take it from Chef Lanice here. We'll be right back to show you the finish after it's been refrigerated for 1 hour. We'll be right back. Hey, Chef Lanice, this looks awesome. And I see there's like 2 different variations. Can you tell me how you did that to kind of switch up a little bit?
Well, you know what I did? I put a little coconut in there, and I colored it green for the kids, because sometimes kids like little colorful things.
Mm-hmm.
So I made the coconut green. So I made 2 variations. The
Okay.
one that I demoed for you, and then right at the end, I snuck a little coconut in the others.
Okay.
And then I made them. So this is it. It is done.
And you know what? Next month, that'd be perfect for St. Patrick's Day.
It was.
And what else did you prepare?
But I
our
also
audience
prepared,
Mhm.
and I want you guys, when I finish, to taste both of them, let me know what you think.
Okay.
But I also prepared for you a sweet potato oat bread.
What?
Yeah.
Sweet potato oat bread.
Sweet potato oat bread.
Now that looks like a party platter. That would be perfect substitute for the nachos and something else that you would get that everyone's snacking on. Let's walk through this, how simple it is to make a sweet potato oatmeal bread.
Well, all you need is a loaf pan.
Mm-hmm.
You get the same oatmeal that I use to make those, but instead you put it in your food processor and grind it down.
Okay, okay.
Now, if everyone doesn't have a food processor, put it in your blender.
There you go.
Put it in your blender, pulverize it.
Okay,
It makes a fine powder, and that's what you're gonna use.
okay.
You're gonna need 1 egg for this, and instead of the honey, you're gonna use maple syrup.
Wow, okay. There
5
you go.
tablespoons of maple syrup.
Mm-hmm,
You're gonna use some kosher salt,
mm-hmm,
a quarter teaspoon of kosher salt.
mm-hmm.
You're gonna use baking powder, baking soda,
Okay.
and I don't want to forget and tell you the wrong thing now.
Well, that looks great by itself.
Some apple cider vinegar.
Mhm. Apple cider.
Apple cider
Now,
vinegar.
what does that do?
That's gonna bring out the tartness.
Okay.
Because you're balancing it.
Okay.
And then you're also gonna put in a cup of yogurt.
So this is sneaking in
It's
nutrition.
sitting in nutrition any way you want.
Okay.
And the main ingredient, sweet potatoes.
Now that's good for you.
Now you can bake them, you can boil them, you can do whatever way you want. Personally, I bake my sweet potatoes because
Okay.
that keeps all the nutrients in them.
Gotcha.
That's your vitamins, everything is in there. So you can wash your potatoes, put them in the oven, go about your business for a while, come back, let them cool, whip this up. Put it in the oven, you bake it for 1 hour,
Mm-hmm.
you let it cool for 30 minutes, flip it out the pan, and then just let it cool, and voila.
Okay.
That's it, just-
And we're gonna write down this recipe so everybody can actually print it, put it in your Mindful Eating Beloved Community recipe book. And hey, you know, I like this almond, the smoked almond, because actually these were on sale for $1.99. So that is a family party platter right
Well,
there.
I will tell you something.
Hmm.
If they have the book, Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community, this recipe is in there.
There you go. Go to loveisfood.org and pick up a Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community book. That would be great.
This recipe is there, and that's where I got it from.
Page 103.
Page 103.
Oh, how did I know? Hey, thanks for attending. We welcome you into this space of a beloved community using mindful eating. We know that we can change lives on the family level and the community level. And there's all sorts of things that can be done affordably. And we know that these things are easy to do. Very, very simple, very, very budget friendly, and can make the whole family feel good because it tastes good and it's healthy for you.
Well, you know what, Alice? Why don't we see if Michelle is available to try this out?
Oh, is Michelle still in our audience? That would be awesome. Hey, Michelle, come on down. That would be great.
You have a choice. The one with the coconut or without?
Ooh, this is exciting. What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna just try a slice of this right here to get the party started.
Get the party
I
started.
think I'm gonna try this one.
That's nice.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
The peanut butter. It's so good.
Good for the whole family. We have some raisins there. That's obviously healthy and nutritious. We can't do any better. If you can do better, use us, use our recipes. Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community, live from St. Helena's Church, Rochester, Bronx. Thank you for attending. Thank you for being in our audience. And we welcome you to our other series coming up for Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community. Take care for now. Stay healthy and stay safe.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi.
Oops. Okay. I hope you enjoyed that. We have one more short one, and then we're going to ask, we're not going to be able to show one video, and that I'll kind of put that in the chat. That's going to be a chickpea recipe that's really easy to make with canned chickpeas. We call it speed scratch. So that will be in the Rizuko as well. And then we'll get to some more of your questions. So let me just bear with me 1 second here. Hey, I'm Chef Alex Askew, and welcome back to another edition of Mindful Eating for the Beloved Community. How do you eat healthy? How do you eat affordably? How do you make yourself feel good with things that taste good? And I have another recipe that I'm sure you're going to love. Let's talk a little bit about beans. You want to talk about affordability? Beans is the best vegetable protein source, or one of the best vegetable protein sources that you can get. And the varieties are endless. You have lentils, you have navy beans, you've got black beans, you've got all types of beans. And so I totally encourage you to actually look at beans as the affordable go-to nutritional food source. Because one of the things that's great about beans, especially if you buy them dry, they're cheap. Yes, you need to take a little bit of love and cook them ahead of time or soak them overnight. But that's what they used to do in the old days. And now we have freezers. So you can actually cook the beans and actually put them in the 2-quart containers and put them in the refrigerator. You might want to put a label on that as well. Let me show you how simple this recipe is. We're going to make a Southern Tex-Mex black bean and roasted corn. And you know what? Again, if you want to put a piece of grilled roasted meat or fish, that's fine. And for the people that are, on the vegetable plant-based side, this is a great go-to meal that you can actually serve hot or cold. But let me just show you how simple it is. You got these dried beans here, and what you want to do is you want to soak them. And what I like to do is I like to kind of go through them
and then give them a rinse. I think it's really, really important. Then what you want to do is you want to soak them overnight. And I already have some beans on the stove that have already been washed. So I just want to show you how simple this is with the beans that you have. You want to be able to cover the beans. I like to use a stock. I'm actually using a chicken bouillon tomato stock. You can use vegetable stock. You can use turkey broth. You know, it's endless. And what you want to do is make sure that it's covered by at least 1 inch, and cover that and put that in the refrigerator overnight. Now, what this is going to do is make it make the beans able to cook faster. That's number one, but it also softens the shells, and you're able to actually get a better whole bean. And soaking it overnight, it's really, I mean, just having a little space in the refrigerator. So that's as simple as that. In terms of the roasted corn, that even gets even more simpler, because now you can take some corn. Again, you can take it off the cob. I'm actually using frozen corn from the supermarket. And what you want to do is go back to your friend, and you want to spray a pan that has some parchment paper. Why the parchment paper? Let me tell you why. It makes cleaning easy, and that's why you always want to kind of cover with aluminum foil, parchment paper. That saves time in cleaning. And you have your corn again. I'll go to the frozen. There's nothing wrong with frozen vegetables. Fresh is best. Fresh sometimes is not the best affordability. And to be honest with you, frozen vegetables that are especially quick frozen doesn't really lose that much nutrition. So now we have our corn on our tray. And again, we want to go back to either olive oil or canola oil. And again, just a little light drizzle. It doesn't need to be a lot. And again, we always want to make sure we season things. Why does food not taste good all the time? Because people don't take the time to season it. And again, that can be a little salt and pepper. They have seasoning mixes that don't have salt for those that have high blood pressure. We're just going to use a basic seasoning salt. I like it also because it has a little paprika in it and gives it some kind of color. And that's ready to go in the oven just like that. So we want to put it in the oven for 325 degrees for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And we'll be right back, and I'll show you how to plate this beautiful dish in just 2 seconds. All right, let's assemble our black bean Tex-Mex style with some roasted corn. Are you guys ready for this? Got some fancy plates here. Honestly, we got them at the dollar store for $1 a piece, just so you know. You treat yourself well for $1. And now we have our black beans that have been cooking for about 45 minutes. And you can tell that they have a little bit of this gravy. I call it black bean gravy, you call it bean gravy. And what we do, like in any restaurant, is we're just going to have almost like it as a bottom layer. And wow, look at that contrast. That was a good plate pick there. And again, and you see that gravy dripping in, that's really where all like the flavor and the juices are. You don't need a sauce, you know, and it's as simple as that. And now what we're gonna do is grab our corn. And again, this has been roasting for 15 minutes, and look at that. That is sweet pleasure right there. You see how it probably tastes close to popcorn as you want to get. And again, this adds flavor. This takes ordinary corn and makes it extraordinary corn. And so we're going to take this, remember it's hot, and we're just going to place that in the middle here. And again, you've got some crunchiness, you've got a little bit of sweetness from the caramelized corn. And again, you know, look at what your base of this plate is. it's beans. You're getting your fiber, you're getting your protein, and that's what's really important. All right. And now what you want to do to really bring up that Tex-Mex flavor is you want to add some scallions, some chopped scallions. That actually adds, you need onions and everything. Scallions, red onions, regular onions. You don't want to forget your onions, all right? Because that's a really affordable way to bring flavor. And then to kind of kick it up, we're going to add some cilantro. Now, for those that don't know about cilantro, well, let me tell you something. It's in all Spanish cooking, you need the cilantro. And what it does is it gives that flavor of, that Latin flair. So here you have it. This is our Tex-Mex black beans and roasted corn with cilantro and sliced scallions. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this. And again, if you want to put a piece of grilled or roasted fish or chicken, be my guest, or just eat it like it is. That's good. You got some crunchiness. That's good. Make sure you make this dish. Stay tuned for our next episode of Mindful Eating for the Brooklyn Community. I gotta get back to this. This is good.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. That's our food demonstration for the mindful eating segment. I hope everyone enjoyed. Remember that there's they're all on Rizzuko, and also there's one other recipe that we couldn't get into because of time, but I'll still answer any questions over chat, and I hope you enjoyed. We put a lot of work into it, and I thought the recipes were practical and obviously affordable, but could be, integrated into your family menu tomorrow.
Thanks so much. That was just really great. I am looking forward to trying some of those recipes. I haven't tried that roast corn technique before. I think that sounds really good. I just want to quickly we're going to give it, last time we've been doing a lot of group work. We haven't had much chance to have small group conversations. So we're going to break people into just small groups, and we're going to be giving you questions, which will be on the chat format so you can see them. And our first question is, how has the mindful eating been going for you guys? And what have you been seeing, whether there's something here that was inspiring for you and what you just saw, and what Alex was talking about. And then we have another question, which we'll put in the chat. So Bob is going to break people into, we're going to do this for very briefly, just 3 persons in a small group. You'll be put into the group. It's random. This is a random group, and they're going to come back at the end for about 10 minutes just to kind of share a bit. So this is about just giving people some chance. Everyone has a chance to talk and get to know each other a little bit better, and share how things are going. And then we'll have some time at the end for kind of a large group conversation. So Bob, do you want to just go right ahead and put people into those small groups?
All right, good. So we have Lorene, Patricia, Jane, Rosie. Let's see. Gracia, Felicia, Jamie, and Helena. Everyone can hear me?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
So what do you discuss your experience so far with the program? This is our 3rd session, and want to get to know what your thoughts of so far. We're almost halfway into the program already.
Well, it allows me to I'm a fast eater, so that's one of my challenge
Mhm.
is, eating fast. So sometimes I'm eating and it's in my back of my head, like, slow down and taste your food. I'm even sometimes trying to do the water when I taste, put the water in my mouth and try to. And I'm more mindful of what I eat. I'll pick something up. Sometimes I eat it, but what, I'll know that you're not supposed to do that.
Okay. Patricia or anyone, just feel free to kind of chime in. Did you guys think the
Okay.
recipes were easy to make? I mean, were they simple enough to incorporate in the family table?
Definitely.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
Sorry, I would say yes, they are simple and also are things that we are familiar with it. We maybe can help us to feel more secure about try the recipe.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was the question?
I say that I found that all the recipe was simple to do it and the ingredient are ingredient that we are most of the time familiar with it and easy to find it. So maybe this can help us to feel more secure and practice those
Right.
recipe often.
And you can feel free to swap it out, like, kale, collard greens, turnip greens. I mean, all of these things are, I look for what's on sale. Any other comments and thoughts?
Yeah, I agree.
Who's talking? Helena? Is that you?
No, okay, what you try to eat healthy, but
Mhm.
sometimes you have to only eat if you are hungry. Because we keep eating and eating and
Hello.
we are not
Looks
really
like they
hungry,
whipped you today,
but we
huh?
are eating. So that is what we have to try to practice ourselves to do, to only eat when you are hungry. And when you are hungry, you try and eat something what is healthy.
Right. Well,
Because sometimes we don't eat, not everybody eat healthy. It's hard to eat healthy because we get so accustomed to the sweets that, look at it, sometimes you finish, you have the meal, but you always want something sweet after the meal. That's not good.
well, I mean,
So that is what we
right, and those are
healthy.
not hard, those are not easy habits to break. I mean, so it
No,
makes I mean, fruit at the end of the meal is better than cake. We have to look at what
right.
things we can swap out that, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously certain fruits are better than others and things of that nature, but fruit is a good way and a good entry point. The other thing is yeah, yeah. The other thing is, it changing habits are not easy sometimes, and that's why you have to make even the most nutritious food like fun, like making kale chips. They're really, really
Yeah.
like you would never, but they're I mean just as good as potato chips. You get the crunch and the salt, and you're eating a leafy green. So you have to be a little creative, and that's what I find is very helpful to change things around.
Yeah. That's true.
Anybody?
That's true. Because the recipes today, they were so interested because these is things I never had. So now it put you in a way to try these stuff
Mhm.
and maybe try to get the family to eat it. It's something new. Put it on the table and see how it goes. But
Right.
they
Well, I
were
tried to
really, really.
associate with right. I tried to associate things that I mean, most families that I know, eat beans. You know, what I mean, like beans is a staple.
Yeah.
Corn, and just prepare it differently is basically so. And then always trying to start with something familiar. Anyone else have any comments and thoughts around their experience so far with the program?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I did really enjoy your pieces today. It's food that I'm familiar with. It's food that I eat. You did not cook it on the stove, except for the beans or certain things. You did a lot of baking, and you made it interesting. I was really very interested in the dessert that the other chef made. you know, how she took all these
Mhm.
healthy ingredients and put it together, and you didn't have to cook it,
Mhm.
but just refrigerate it. So it gives you creative ways. It's a fun thing that you can do with kids, and it just makes you think outside of the box. So I really enjoyed this piece today, you know, the demonstrations today.
Great, great. Anyone
I
else?
like I like the lasagna. I would like to try that lasagna.
Oh, it was really, really good. Like you would not, it was really, really good because I mean, you know, cooking the sheets in the vegetable juices,
Mhm.
you know, and part of that is, you know, you know, in the supermarkets, they have those racks that you can get vegetables for 99 cents because they're like blemished and, you know, those are perfect. You just chop them up and, you know, and you can put them right in and they cook right in the lasagna. So, plus you can make so
Oh.
much. I mean, literally for 24 people would be under like, you know, $7, $8. You know, that's what's up.
Alex,
Yeah.
I just shared the second question that we were going to look
Okay.
at. And I can read it for folks in the chat.
Go ahead.
Next question for discussion. Once aware of your connection to the world, it's impossible to ever again ignore how your actions affect everything around you. Mindfulness isn't just a one-time decision to be conscious of your impact on the world. It's a lifestyle that forever shapes how you move and make decisions. So the question for discussion is, what does this quote mean to you? Pretty deep, huh?
Very deep,
Yes.
very deep.
And I believe that comes from the Mindful Eating book, Alex.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
one of the.
Jane, you got to unmute yourself. Okay.
Yes, I just first thing today, the sweet potato bread, that I definitely something is gonna try. And also the bean with the corn. I don't know. I never really do too much with black beans, except when I go to Haiti on a visit. I love the rice they make. But I will try that. That was very easy and looked very interesting. And also, as far as the eating is concerned, expect for young people. I know a lot of us that are listening in this program perhaps is already grown and have our children and is mature. But for young people, it is important that they really kind of get onto this, because when you teach a child from they're very small to eat right and to get them into the habit of eating what is right and good for them, it's never going to go away. That's really the foundation. For some of us now, it's hard to turn around. As the sister was saying, she loved to eat, and we love to eat, and we love to eat the round thing. And it is easy to grab the round thing. You go in the supermarket, they are everywhere before you, especially in those gourmet store. Went in the one the other night, and it was a fight not to buy just everything. So, but if you really start the kid off at a very early age and you enjoy it and show them that it's enjoyable and that it's good for them, then you're going to find out down the road, you're going to really educating the other generation, which that's really where we are looking.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Well, you know, in terms of the reading that Bob did, it talks about it's not just a one-time decision to be conscious of impact in the world, but definitely something that we have to do intentionally. You know, we have to be intentional about this. And if, you know, we really want to make healthy choices and make changes, not going to happen overnight, but we have to consistently do it and practice it so that, you know, we can really reap the benefits and begin to change our lifestyle and begin to impact others to do the same.
Great, thank you.
One of the things I love about the Mindful Eating book and the course that we're developing here with together with all of you is the way we're integrating the individual, the family, the community, and the broader society. You know, we have to be conscious and mindful of all these pieces working together. So, you know, having the individual skills to work on mindfulness, you know, the work Alex is doing here on mindful cooking and mindful nutrition, and then broadening that to what's happening, you know, societally. And I think that kind of speaks to what you're talking about, Patricia.
Yeah, I'm about culture. I'm about, integrating the cultural piece. My program is with young people, and we have to be mindful that we deal with the Latino, we deal with the African American, we deal with the African culture. And I liked, you took foods that identify with those cultures. Especially black beans is a good staple. It's part of my culture and my tradition. And, to see that you bring that forth, most people wouldn't even touch the black beans, to be honest. But in certain cultures, that's embraced, and it's one of the better beans to eat. And to just see you can do fun things with it, that was really amazing.
Thank you. Bob, do you want me to read in part? I know we don't have that much time. So do you choose, here are a couple of other questions to reflect on in the short time that we have. Do you feel you choose whole grains instead of refined grains, and limit foods that will quickly raise your blood sugar? And does your neighborhood have access to healthy, affordable food? I kind of made it a two-part question.
Yes, my neighborhood has a lot of affordable food. And then, now, like, they have a lot of pantries in the area, and they usually give, I don't know sure what it is they have, but I know sometime when you pass there, they have a lot, they get a lot of vegetables. But to say what it is they have in the pantries, I am not sure. But like, sometimes you pass and you see the people opening the boxes, and they have like cabbage, carrots, what again they have? Apples, potatoes, and all these different stuff in the boxes. And my church too, we have a pantry where we give a lot of well, I think they try to put the 5 food groups in the boxes because they have vegetables, they get cheese, they got milk, sometimes they get meat and all these things, which is really good for our community. So we have fruits and vegetables. I think in my area, the people get a lot of it, a lot of it, because they have like about 10, 11 pantries in the area.
Which area is this again, Helena?
By Yankee Stadium.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, folks, I'm just in interest of time here. I'm bringing people back.
Okie doke.
Okay.
Hi, Sylvia.
Alex, I wanted to ask you about the whole wheat. What happened to people who have allergies or their system is not compatible with the wheat? How do you?
There are, I think we discussed it on the first, but there are different pastas made out of quinoa, made out of, I just picked up one out of red lentils. Okay. Those are harder to find, but in terms of making lasagna, that might be a hard call since it's, I mean, that's like the healthiest version using that, but I'm sure that there's ways of making a lasagna-ish type of recipes. Maybe I'll come up with one and send it over to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get an announcement to
okay.
automatic thing to come back, so I'm just gonna go back to my breaker room and tell people to come back in.
Yeah, it's interesting the way
Go back automatically.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it, Chris doing communications? Who's gonna do communications at the Merit Badge Fair, Chris?
Yeah.
Well, tell him you have 4.
Hey, Father David. Hey,
Hi, Father David.
did you see the videos?
It's not video. 10 minutes. Now I'm here in a Boy Scout group. The Boy Scout meeting is taking place here.
Okay.
Oh.
This is the first time I had to get on. I want to at least come on.
I sent Rosemary the links too as well.
Oh yes, good. Good.
Okay, so is everyone back?
Not quite yet, but I found a way to send them one at a time.
Okay, great. So in our remaining time, I'm just curious if any of the people had any questions or anything they wanted to share from the breakout room with the rest of the group. We got a couple of minutes. So did anything come up that you just want to share with the rest of the group as like an important insight?
I was in the breakout room with Sandra and Lisa, and we were talking about the importance of the chapter that we read and the importance of having those family meals around the table and how that reminded of our childhood and stuff and how we have to try to get back to that, especially when the pandemic is over.
Family meals, I think, is probably gonna be one of the big things people are looking forward to having back, so we can start thinking about what we're eating at that table.
Yes.
And one of the topics the Boy Scouts are discussing now is camping meals. What do you go camping? What do you take camping?
That's a good one.
Take some beans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, guys, what have you determined for your camping meals? Come on over and tell the people here on TV what you're planning to take camping.
All right, we got back.
Yeah, we're back.
Halfway.
This is the mindful eating for the beloved community.
To figure it out.
Okay, this is Jacob.
Hi,
He's one of the
Jacob.
Cub Scouts.
Hi, Jacob.
Hi,
Jaden.
Jacob.
Jacob.
He's going to tell you what they're planning to take to eat for camping on their meal.
So we're planning to get eat hot dogs, burgers, we're one-eyed jack, eggs, oatmeal, what else? Sandwiches.
Sounds good.
Planning to eat. That's basically it.
No, you need
Sounds
good to me.
Good. Sounds good,
Sounds
Jacob.
great. You need some fruits. You need some fruits in there, and you need some vegetable sticks, something on the vegetable side that you can crunch on.
Oh yeah, I really like strawberries, so I might be strawberries.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some
Some
carrot
grapes
sticks. Some
and carrot sticks.
Oh yeah, I like carrot sticks. With
Oh, great. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
And celery.
That's a
Celery
That
is up
sticks
with
is good. Very good.
Well,
Okay, thank you.
Have a lot of fun.
Thank you, Joseph.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for sharing.
Really great. We might have more carrot sticks.
And there's a lot of apples too. Remember, take apples with you.
Oh yeah.
And it's good the fact that both the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts are still going camping.
Yes,
yes.
True.
Good.
That's good.
So do we have any other final thoughts people want to share before we end tonight?
No, I just want to add that this was my first time that I came to this meeting, and I am thankful that I was able to come in and that I learned a lot and the food was delicious. And Alex, try somebody else, okay? Michelle's not, it would make it sound like Michelle's the only person in the room.
Michelle getting all the food.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be there next time.
Okay.
That sounds good, Carmen.
I was in a group with Curtis, and we chatted about a little bit about Curtis and David, and we chatted about the quote that Curtis shared with us for reflection last time about the connections between mindful eating and the beloved community. So yeah, I just really like that quote from the question that she shared. Very similar to mindfulness. The beloved community will come about when we look at starting with ourselves, the connection we have to ourselves and extending out into our relationships to the community. So I just thought it was really a beautiful thing to reflect on.
Okay.
Very nice.
All right. Well, on that note, let us have wishing everyone a very good evening. And don't forget to watch that recipe, that final film in the Ruzuku, which will be available for you, and everything will be up and ready for you by this weekend. So I hope everyone has a blessed evening.
And likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Thank
Thank
Happy
you.
holiday.
Happy,
Yeah.
happy.
Happy
holidays.
Happy
Have a wonderful
Happy
holiday,
Easter to
everyone.
everyone.
Bye, folks.
And
Good night.
Passover.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.